Hello, and thank you for joining me. Mustn't waste and mustn't trash the place. Secure that. All right, this week's book, the Hornblower Saga. It's written by a Syracuse University professor of English language, also a retired U.S. Navy officer, so he's quite qualified to write this book. It's kind of an oddity, and before you say, but Harold, you love the writings of C.S. Foster in general, and Hornblower in particular, yes, but I find that a lot of novels, science fiction, classic novels, what have you, the first third, when I buy a copy of them, is taken up by some essay written by someone trying to justify their PhD in English by explaining the book and the author to me, and I find these writings typically very tedious, and I read them because everything has to be read cover to cover to go on the bookshelf. So rules are rules, but I won't say I enjoy reading them, and I won't say I get much out of it. Maybe a little bit, not a lot of it. Got a motorboat coming up. I may have to stop for a bit. Focus on the sailing. So, in that way, why would I buy this? Well, because I'm interested in C.S. Foster as an author and a person and his writings. I thought this might be a good idea. And I would say, all in all, it is. But one caveat. Spoiler alert. I've not read all of C.S. Foster's works. I've recently acquired A Captain from Connecticut, my home state, and The African Queen, a book I probably should have read years ago. I've not seen the movie either, so they're on my to-do list. And reading this book and some other books that I may or may not get from C.S. Foster, particularly his earlier works, more than a bit. But they're spoilers. So it's kind of like, oh, you just told me major plot points, and maybe I didn't want to know that just right away. All right, let's come about here. There we go. So, it'd be harder to speak to camera while on this tack. But, it's a tricky wicket then, because if we read this book, we get spoiler alerts, but at the same time, we get a better understanding of C.S. Foster as an author, and where he's going with stuff, and why he wrote things. Last year, I read A Pawn Among Kings, and I enjoyed it well enough, but unlike most of C.S. Foster's writing, which grabs you and says, we're going on an adventure now, it took a little bit of work to get through. And then you read this book, and it's clear because this is one of his first novels and really figured out how to write well yet. And that makes a lot of sense. There's a couple of other early novels of his that I have not read yet. I'll probably have a go at it at some point. But books like The Good Shepherd, I think I read that in 2 or 3 days. And just, let's go. I read Sink to Bismarck here in middle school or high school. It's a really good read. I learned from this book, oh yeah, he wrote it. It's the novelization of the screenplay he wrote for the movie. And I've seen the movie, and I recommend that one as well. Of course, I recommend all the Hornblower stuff and wherever else. So, this is a good book, albeit it has that one problem, that if you read it, you risk spoiling a bunch of the works that you may not have read yet. So maybe wait to finish Hornblower, see if Forster's works, or go ahead and read it anyway. I can't tell you that. I can tell you we should tack before we run out of wind from the headland. And I can also tell you, we really need to sort out the Traveler, aren't we? Oh, we're so in irons. And now we're not. All right. By the way, obviously made on tight, television miniseries budget, but the Young Hornblower series I really enjoy, and this actor, a Welshman, I enjoy this work and his other stuff. I think he's a very fine actor, very enjoyable. So I do recommend that as well. Anyway, unless I think of something else to say, which I'll put in the edit. Thank you very much for joining us on this lovely day in Maine and aboard my Dyer Dhow.